And the injury story, certainly noteworthy. A lot of players out tonight.
The injury story, certainly noteworthy. A lot of players in business casual tonight.
And with tip-off coming up, we've got just enough time to hear from our good friend David Aldridge on the sideline. D.A., take it away.
Well, Joel Embiid and the Sixers have been through a lot in the last 5 years. At the beginning, there were so many losses on and off the court. But trust the process became a mantra, one that Embiid embraced. He said, I think a lot about what I went through, how it prepared me to be a better man. I really feel like I'm the process, and the process is about me. Kevin, the process has turned out quite well.
Thank you, David. Conference rivals in this one, Clark. Does that matter as much as people think, or is it just another game?
I still think it matters to the players. I mean, they're a little less emotional now, rivalries. They're not as heated, a little more practical. I think it's mostly about making the playoffs and where you're seated.
Look at the 76ers starting group. Richardson and Harris filling out the wing. The talented combo up front, Horford and Embiid. And it's Milton in at the 1. And for Washington, Hachimura and Bryant are in the middle. Shabazz Napier out there with Brown. And it's Bonga in at the 3 slot. Now, here's Richardson. Shoots from the baseline, and that's good for 2.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
Brown the pass to Bryant. Dishes it to Napier. And it's sent back by Horford. They retain possession. Here's Milton. Richardson outside. All 3 off the mark.
I'm shocked that it didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
And that one's good. Hachimura.
And showing some toughness on that take. Hachimura, these kinds of buckets can energize a team.
Now, here's Richardson. Here's Embiid. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
And really, the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
It is. I mean, no reason to back off and give him the layup. I mean, much better off making him go to the line.
The 76ers shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game. He's off on the first.
And so much for the Sixers is predicated on Joel Embiid's health. Do they need to restrict his minutes in the regular season to keep him ready for that playoff run?
Well, you know, we've had all of this conversation about load management and managing the minutes of your key players, and Embiid, with his injury history, would certainly be a candidate for that. But we also saw what the Raptors did last season with Kawhi Leonard, so maybe the Sixers take a page out of the Raptors book in that regard.
Now, here's Napier. And the foul on Josh Richardson. That is his first foul of the game. And we're about a minute and a half into the first quarter. Brown outside. 6 to shoot. The 3. Rebound by the 76ers. Here's Milton. It's hauled in by Brown. Pass to Napier. Back to Brown. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Here's Milton. Napier covering, and here's Harris from the arc. Another miss by Philadelphia.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
And there's the the pass to Hachimura. He can't get that one. Good work defensively by Richardson. Here's Harris. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
There's no way you can minimize his concentration. Excellent focus in finding a way to score that time by Harris.
Napier kicks to Brown. Now Napier. The kick out to Bryant. Pass to Brown. Shot clock at 6. Over Richardson. And another miss by Washington.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
And after he missed the first 2 seasons of his career, Greg, with a broken bone in his foot, would injuries be your main concern for Joel Embiid?
Look, no doubt about it. As long as he's healthy, he's an all-league performer. Still, 7-footers carry a lot of weight in our league. He wants to prove he can play big minutes. They just got to make sure they protect him.
First one drops. Clark, last couple years, the three-point shot has been absolutely huge, a gigantic weapon for a lot of teams. You live by it, you die by it. Some teams can accept, though, the ramifications of a bad shooting night.
Yeah, I think it's too big a premium not to really overweight the three-point shot. A 50% premium on that particular field goal when it goes down. But I do like to see balance. Attacking the rim, spacing the floor. I love to see guys and teams shoot the mid-range shot as well. But the three-point shot and the way teams use it and shoot it is here to stay for sure.
Hachimura, no good.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense.
That one good for 2. Richardson's got his second bucket.
Boy, he is looking confident. Love how they're using him so far.
And you know what? They're going to keep using him. I mean, he'll be the centerpiece of their offense today. You can bank on that.
So timeout called here, the first for Washington.
Yeah, things not going their way, and he wants to just try to talk this one over.
And you know what, guys? If for nothing else, just to slow things down a little bit, change it up somewhat.
Teams will make substitutions. First quarter play and just over 3.5 minutes in. Smith, and he uses the glass on the layup.
Nice to watch Smith get physical on offense. Nothing gets in this guy's way. Plays with a very determined attitude.
Out to the right wing. Here's Thybulle, covered by Smith. Passes to Embiid from about 19 feet, and Wagner pulls it down.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Well, it's a new front office in Washington, and Greg, they've got their work cut out for him.
John Wall's huge Supermax contract as he deals with the Achilles injury. Tough questions to be answered about the direction they're going to take talent-wise.
And that one's good. Thybulle.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there, dead on target.
And so it's Smith with it. He'll bring it up for Washington, trailing by 5. Pass to Hachimura. from the baseline. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim.
And a solid shooter from mid-range. Hachimura with textbook fundamentals.
The pass to Embiid. Here's Thibault, guarded by Mahinmi. Here's Thibault, and the rejection by Mahinmi. Hachimura, no good. Philadelphia leading by 3. Thibault, the pass to Embiid. Rebound by Mahinmi.
Well, you know, stopping him is never easy to do, but the defense was strong there.
Here's Hachimura, guarded by Embiid. Here's Mahinmi, and Mahinmi with the stop.
And, you know, it's one thing to get the offensive rebound, but then how about the loud bucket he's able to convert?
He was in perfect position under the hoop break. You're right, once he gets his hands on the miss.
That's exactly why it's important to work hard on the offensive glass, fella, for chances just like that.
Here's Hachimura. No good that time. Here's Neto. Here's Thibault. And that shot was up in time, but doesn't go in. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. 76ers on top. They're up by 1. We'll be back shortly, live from Washington. Horford was born in the Dominican Republic, and he talked about why he gravitated towards basketball instead of baseball.
Coming from the place where, you know, baseball is what's driven to us every time. I mean, I started playing baseball. I didn't play basketball. I started playing baseball, and, you know, just watching my dad play basketball, I just fell in love with the game. And people were still telling me, they're like, nobody makes it out of here usually out of basketball. I mean, your dad was a very rare case, and you know, I just believed in it.
Wanted to follow in his father's footsteps.
And what a career. College championships at Florida, an all-star in the NBA. I think he made the right choice.
And close game underway so far. We'll see if either of these teams can jump out in the second quarter. And guys, what's your take so far in Philadelphia?
Yeah, in that first period, they looked to push in transition at every opportunity.
Yeah, I like the way they play. They're looking to get up and down the court every time. Racehorse basketball here tonight. Strap it up. Don't look down. You'll miss something.
We've got Wagner. Robinson is out there with Smith. Then there's Ian Mahinmi. And it's Hachimura in at the small forward position. That's the group on the floor right now for Washington. And that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Hachimura's got 6. And here's Burks. Here's the floater. And no good. And Washington the other way now. He has a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, Josh Richardson has made himself into one of the top defensive wings in the league. Richardson says there's a certain competitiveness that comes with being a good defender. The defensive end takes will, and I have a lot of it. Kevin Drive is super competitive.
Those plays can make a difference in a game like this.
Well, you know it's going to fire up, Greg, everybody on that bench.
Making a statement for sure. I mean, we'll see if they can maintain that aggressive approach, guys.
Washington calls timeout. Look, you were so good at such an early age in your basketball career. At what point did you personally realize just how far the game could take you?
You know, it really resonated with me, Kevin, I think at a summer basketball camp at Miami of Ohio, when some of the better campers, high school campers, were asked to play with the college guys at night. And then during pickup games in my hometown down to Cleveland with some of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jim Jones and the late Terry Furlow and Mike Mitchell, and being able to compete somewhat with those guys at 15 and 16 years of age, and having them encourage me to keep going and that I'd have a chance to do what they were doing at the time, which was play pro ball.
And the 76ers making a change here. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. Brown, the pass to Mahinmi. Napier up top. Richardson covering. And the shot goes down. Napier's got the lead up to 3 now for the Wizards.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Now here is Horford. He is still scoreless so far in this one. 6 on the shot clock. Count it.
Boy, he's an elite shooter with a lot of sweet spots. Defenses have to mark and keep an eye on Harris from mid-range.
Napier passes to Brown. Inside, and Bryant kicks to Napier. From the arc, hits it from three-point range. Napier's got 5 now.
He might not have the long range ability of some other guys, but he will knock down open ones like that.
Pass to Robinson. Fires for 3. Rebounded by the Wizards. Napier with it. He's got 5. Richardson with the double team. Here's Bonga, and the call on the shot that sends him to the line. That one on Richardson. Washington shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
And last season, 77% from the line. They could usually get the job done there.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one. And Philadelphia making a change here. Milton's checked in. And he makes both free throws.
And there's been some turnover in the Philly front office, but through it all, some bold moves.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, guys. First, the process, and we heard a lot about that as they were stockpiling draft picks and losing a lot of games. It was maybe the most drastic rebuild in NBA history, at least as I can recall. Then new leadership in Elton Brand, who's done an outstanding job, pushing all their chips into the middle to go for it. Great credit to him for not sitting back. In both cases, a plan and a direction, and that's what you want from your organization.
Now, here's Mahinmi following the miss by Josh Richardson. Napier kicks to Mahinmi. Off target from outside. The 76ers trail by 6. Here's Robinson. Sweet little floater.
How about that wonderful floater he has, showing off an exquisite touch.
Now, here's Napier. He's got 5. Richardson with the double team. Here's Brown. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time. Brown's got the lead back up to 6 now for the Wizards. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Harris. Rebound by the Wizards. Mahinmi's got his 5th rebound in this one.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead.
Now, here's Napier. Bryant finds Mahinmi. Here's Bonga. It's hauled in by Harris. And so it's Harris who will bring it up for Philadelphia. 6-point game. Richardson, no luck.
Very surprising that he came away empty there, especially given room to operate.
Brown outside. Here's Mahinmi. The putback. It's good on the putback. Mahinmi's got the lead up to 8 now for the Wizards.
There you go. Relentless pursuit of the ball. I love it. He never stopped working.
Milton the pass to Richardson. Harris outside. Lays it up and banks it in. Harris has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Boy, this is the threat that Harris poses now. He's a scorer from every level. Inside, three-point land, and at the rim.
Now, here's Mahinmi. Down kicks to Mahinmi. Napier with it, and it's Horford picking him up. Launches a 3, and it's Napier missing. Here's Milton. Napier covering. Here's Milton. And he was able to put it up in time, but doesn't fall. And so it's Washington with their lead standing at 6 points here at the end of the quarter. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. And don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, and welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here. If your name is Shaquille O'Neal, raise your hand, please. If your name is Shaquille O'Neal, raise your hand, please. I guess Shaq's not here today. If your name is Kenny the Jet Smith, raise your hand, please. And I'm Kevin Harlan. A pretty close game for the Wizards throughout the first quarter. Some good action during the period, as it was just a one-point game at the end of one. In the second quarter, they were easily the better team. The points started coming for them in bunches, and they built a 6-point lead by halftime. And let's get your thoughts, Kenny, on the Wizards.
Well, I thought that turning point was when the bench came in. Those guys really hustled, and they gave the team some energy. And then they started to score baskets. That was a bonus.
Shaq, what'd you think about Philadelphia?
They got to get more aggressive on the glass. Over the first half, we saw them being schooled down low. You know what I'm going to say, Ernie? If I was coaching the locker room right now, they'd be getting an earful.
Extra rebounding. That's what will pay off in other ways. The energy is really where it starts.
Something like that, Ernie.
And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take it down to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my man Joel. Joel, what up?
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Here's Brown. While we've got a moment, let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. Taking a look at the 76ers. Harris at small forward with Horford at the 4. Then it's Josh Richardson. Then there's Embiid, and it's Milton in at the point guard position.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
He kicks it to Richardson. 76ers moving the ball around. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. Look, we've talked about footwork, but a player's hands, how he catches, how he passes, the use of his hands are huge. And there are a couple guys out there that are great at that.
Kawhi Leonard has got some mitts unlike any other in the league. I mean, he's not that tall. He's long-armed, and his hands are humongous. That ball looks like a tennis ball in his hands. Not only are they big, they're good. He's active with them on defense, and he's very strong in how he handles the ball offensively. You know, I think about a guy in terms of maybe not size, but really good hands. Jokic, his hands are phenomenal.
Up again, he hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
Boy, Embiid wants to own the inside on both sides of the floor. He is a force in the paint and relishes hitting those boards.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, with John Wall sidelined for most of the season recovering from injury, the Wizards are going to need new players to step up. One of them that they hope will do so is their first-round pick, Rui Hachimura. Hachimura didn't start playing basketball until he was 13 years old. He was a baseball player. He's the first Japanese-born player to be a first-round pick in the NBA draft. And he only played a little bit in Japan before he went to Gonzaga, where he starred for Mark Few. And now the Wizards are hoping that he can be a star on and off the court in Washington.
And D.A., you and I were talking that Few really had a nice impact on Hachimura. Thanks for the report. First one falls for him. Robinson's checked in for the Wizards. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe.
You know, guys, it's not surprising to hear that Joel Embiid gets a lot of inspiration from Hall of Famer Hakeem Olajuwon. Both came to the game late. Both represent the continent of Africa. And Embiid really kind of modeled his game after Hakeem, and that's a heck of a model.
Here's Robinson. Tobias Harris picking up that last basket. Now Robinson. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring hit from him. And the rejection by Embiid. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Embiid. So it's both teams making substitutions here. Over a minute and a half into the third quarter of action. Off the left rim and out. And when he first came to America, what a great story this is. Embiid's coach in Cameroon sent him a DVD of Hakeem's highlights.
And that was a good start for Embiid, and good work by you, Kevin, to dig up that factoid. Very nicely done. But you're right. Embiid said he watched that tape every day for 3 years, and you can see evidence of him watching that tape and how he played.
The adjustments they've made offensively, they're putting guys in a position now to succeed.
It's certainly been an impressive run. They finally found the right formula to break down the defense.
Here's Hachimura. He has 6. Here's Wagner. Count it, and the foul. That one on Embiid.
Just a grinder. Always doing the dirty work on the offensive glass, and that's one of the things he brings to the table.
Washington shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game. And the 76ers making a change here. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. Passes it to Thibault. Rebounded by the Wizards. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Robinson goes in. Good. And it's Napier with the assist that time. Napier's got 3 assists in the game. Neto surveying the floor. Here's Embiid. The shot's good. Embiid's got 4 points this quarter.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
And again, Washington with the triple.
That's how you pass the pumpkin. I mean, Smith really keeps his head on the swivel to get that ball over to his open teammates.
Scott the pass to Thibault. Embiid trying to break loose, and that one's good. Bible's got 6.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. For Philadelphia. Harris comes in for Mike Scott, and Alec Burks subbed in for Raul Neto. Burks against Smith. Pass to Napier. That one's rebounded by Embiid. Embiid's got 5 rebounds tonight. Here's Korkmaz, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the officials.
The 76ers have made 3 of 5 free throw attempts.
And their numbers from the line last season, they're good, just not great, about 77% as a team.
And he makes the first. Washington making some changes. Ryan is checked in for Mo Wagner. And Troy Brown subbed in for Napier. That one falls, so he hits both of them. Washington leading now by 3. Smith on the wing. Burks covering. Smith, no luck. The 76ers have gone 6 of 8 on field goal attempts in the third. A 75% clip.
And now a chance to see the former Demon Deacon Ish Smith in action. Has been in the league for a while now and played for several teams, and he's a veteran through and through. The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Oh, and there's the one-handed jam.
The finish was nice, but the setup was better.
Yeah, G8, the pick working to full effect before the stuff.
And, you know, not enough help from the defense there to compensate. He gets a clean look, and that's exactly how you draw it up.
Here is Robinson. Philadelphia getting their last shot to go. It's hauled in by the 76ers. Embiid's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. To the inside, Harris, and slam dunk by Harris.
Not settling for the layup. Sometimes you got to go strong, and Harris gets the chance to stuff it there. He didn't let it slip by him.
Smith right side. No good there. So Philadelphia will take it the other way.
In this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
Harris outside. It's stolen. In transition, here come the Wizards. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. And Robinson wide open. He shoots. Drains the wing trade. Robinson's got 5 now. The 76ers trail by 4. Burks looking around. And the pass to Embiid. Here's Thibault. Lets it go with a three. And that one released in time, but no good. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Wizards lead by 4. We'll get right back to the action when we return. We've reached the fourth quarter, and what has been a very competitive game should be an exciting finish. The 76ers trail by 4. Hachimura and Bryant are in the middle. Ish Smith is out there with Brown, and it's Bonga in at the 3 spot. That's the group on the floor right now for Washington. Now here is Harris. Takes it to Richardson. Just 5 on the clock. 3-pointer. Bonga pulls it in. And so it's Bonga who brings up the ball for Washington. Pass to Smith. The Wizards working the ball around now. Outside Bryant. Passes it to Smith. Lets it go from deep. Rebound by the 76ers. Harris has got his 5th rebound in this one. Here's Milton. That one a little long.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
To the paint, here's Bryant, and finish off by Bryant.
But he just kind of stepping aside and letting him get to the rim.
There's a reason, GA. The lead is what it is right now.
You know, you look at it, the communication is lacking, as is the trust. They can ill afford those types of breakdowns. It won't work. You can't win with those kind of breakdowns.
And Philadelphia has possession, following the bucket by the Wizards. And here's Harris from the arc. That's good again. His 7th basket. 7 for 10 from the floor.
And after an abysmal first half from the field, the shots now starting to fall.
Smith outside. Lets a floater go.
That long reach of Embiid is a real asset on defense. Covers a lot of territory and knows how to snuff out shooting.
He is single-handedly dropping the temperature in here with that cold streak.
And he's got to find other ways to contribute them because his shot making is not happening right now.
Here's Milton. Following the 3-pointer by Washington. Horford the pass to Milton. Down low. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
Boy, the sheer size of Embiid often puts the defense in tough spots. He's a beast.
And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Wizards?
You know, one of the big stories has been the 3-ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
Too. And how about the work they're doing also on the offensive glass? Creating those extra opportunities has been critical.
Well, free throw drops for Embiid.
You know, Embiid has a very similar story to Tim Duncan's. I mean, the Cameroon native did not start playing basketball until later in life. Now he's one of the very best in the game.
And the Wizards making a change here. Napier's checked in. And Embiid drops them both. Wizards leading by 4. Outside Bryant. He dishes it to Brown. Just 5 to shoot. The feed to Bryant. To the middle. Here's Bonga. That's good, and it's Bryant with the assist. And the Wizards lead by 6.
And you don't want to allow too many of those short ones with the game right now in the balance.
Embiid, the pass to Milton. Back to Embiid. That one misses. Nice D from Bryant. Washington's gone 5 of 9 when they put up a 3-point shot tonight.
And proving to be effective around the rim. Hachimura leaving no doubt about that one.
There's Milton. Napier covering. Too long in the paint. He's hit with a 3-second violation. Shows the focus there, nails the technical. Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. Now the pass to Embiid. Clock at 6. Good work defensively by Bryant.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Down low, Hachimura, and foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And when Hachimura is looking to score, it sometimes forces the D to get aggressive. Love the energy.
And that one falls for Hachimura.
And although he started playing the game later in life, Hachimura has picked it up well, and exciting young player to watch.
And so he makes both from the line.
Already a very confident player. Knocking down those free throws only fuels that.
Here's Milton. Embiid inside. Working on Bryant. Good work defensively by Bryant. Out to the wing. Napier feeling it out a bit. Bryant's shot is off.
And the activity he shows around the rim is why he is such a respected defender.
And you know what? He's not going to give up an easy finish at the rim. I mean, that's just against his constitution.
Here's Milton. The dish to Embiid. Good on the triple. Embiid's got 10 points in just the second half.
Hey, this big fella, Joel Embiid, you've got to guard him out at the three-point line. This guy has a nice stroke. You cannot sleep on him out there.
Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. They're ahead by 6. 1:22 left in the fourth quarter. At our Jordan Player of the Game.
And the way he's made his mark with his work inside, he's just been a slasher tonight. Always moving, getting to the basket at will, and just seemingly taking advantage of a D that was reluctant to get in his way.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, during the break, I listened in on Scott Brooks' huddle. He told them this is a game of runs. It's a game of momentum. They may have the lead now, but I'm telling you guys, it can evaporate in a hurry. Let's close this thing out. Kevin?
And the rejection by Embiid. And again, Washington, no good.
I wouldn't say that's exactly his spot now. I mean, and you can see why.
There's Milton. Napier covering. A shot by Milton, no good. There's 49 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Here's Bryant. You can't get that one to fall. And Philadelphia the other way now.
This is a do-or-die possession. They have got to get points.
It really does come down to this. I mean, come up empty, and it's over.
I love the advantage he has from a speed standpoint. Does a great job of creating separation for that shot.
They can more or less wrap it up right here.
This has to be a very smart possession.
Out of bounds, Philadelphia takes possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smart.
There's 31 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And it's sent back by Bryant. And so they foul intentionally. And he cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss. And the second of two is good. That puts them up by 5. Timeout called the 76ers. They're down by 5. There's 25 seconds left in the game. There's 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Money! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
And you know Embiid wants the ball in these situations. He wants that shot. He wants to come through for his team.
Yeah, you can't let him hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
No, you got to foul. I mean, it's going to come down to free throws here. Foul right away.
First free throw is good, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And a tough break is his second attempt at the line. No good.
Can't waste any time here.
No, you need a quick bucket and then a quick foul.
It falls!
And you can't get a bigger bucket than that.
Well, that was 1-2. He wanted the ball. Nobody else was taking that shot.
Free throw, no good. They foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point. So the first one drops, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And he cannot convert on the second. That misses.
Looking to tie it up with a big triple.
You don't want to force it, though. Still need to get a quality look.
Richardson, no luck. And they need to stop the clock, so there's a foul. He drops the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. So he gets them both, and it's a 5-point game.
And that's the knockout blow right there, guys. Those free throws should put this one away.
And so it's the Wizards with the win. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans, but in the end, everyone's satisfied.
Well, I mean, there were some times that momentum shifted, and especially early on, but let's give this group a lot of credit for that stick-to-itiveness in terms of finishing out and executing that game plan.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Alder, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.